That's good.
Give him the old flick of the wrist.
Oh my god.
He did it! The son of a gun did it! Oh my god. He did it! Holy crap. That's insane.
Hello again, it's Garson, and today, that's right, we're talking about the dirty tricks. I love all the new dirty tricks that come with the new subclass for rogues. We're talking about Swashbuckler. Specifically, there's 3 new moves you get with the Swashbuckler, and this subclass is really great. You can see just in last night's stream, I was having tons of fun. Figured that would kind of demonstrate why I think this subclass is just popping off. It's crazy, but it actually comes really early. So what I'm going to do is kind of go over some of the dirty tricks, why I love them, and what we can do with them with some ideas. But I'm also going to answer some of your patch 8 questions. So a big thank you guys to you. I really appreciate all the support lately. Like I said, I'm having a lot of fun with the streams, especially with these new subclasses, but it's thanks to you guys I even have access to it. So we'll just dive into some questions, and I'm also going to talk about why I like the Swashbuckler's dirty tricks. They come pretty early, and we'll show you what you can do with them, how to acquire them, and all that stuff. So if you want to follow along on the right hand side, skip around, that's cool with me. But if you want to support the channel and the video, just watch all of it. It really helps out. It's really the best way to support the channel. And once again, big thank you guys. All right, so let's just dive right in. We'll make it snappy. Patch 8 answers to your patch 8 questions. This is subject to change. That's why I leave the top left. It says patch 8 stress test. So just keep that in mind. Things have changed on us. Hopefully they can get some bugs worked out and we can have this out so everybody can have some fun with this patch. And I'm going to answer your questions while we wait for that to happen. All right, so let's get right into it with Snake Man's question. I'm going to dive into another clip here. We'll put this up and let's go. So Snake Man had a couple of questions. If we pause for a second, number 1 is essentially, does Swarmkeeper work on reaction, or does it work just once per turn? The second question is, the Swarmkeeper, does it work with Displacer and the Slayer forms? And finally, does the Displacer form and the Slayer form actually get Tavern Brawler in this patch? Has anything changed with that? So let's dive right into it. I'm going to kind of skip around the video as needed, but as you can see here, Minthara, she's just going to use the cheater scroll to acquire these 2 forms, and I'm going to show you. I have the prerogative like Snake Man was asking. So basically, to the first question, the swarm is once per turn, right? Until you use it, you can keep getting it as a reaction, and it won't even use a reaction point, so you wouldn't even need something like the Duelist Prerogative, which gives you 2 reaction points. But no, it doesn't really do anything after you use your once per turn abilities that come from the swarm attacking. It's over for that turn, right? So as you can see here, though, to answer the second question, yes, we can actually use the Displacer form. Snake Man said, go ahead, use this cheater scroll, make it easier for you to test. So that's what I did, and if you don't use the reaction, as you can see here, you can still keep getting the reaction, but once you use it, it's done for the turn, right? So I'll attack again. Yeah, it's not like it's based on reaction points, but hey, to answer the second question, you can use it on the Displacer form, right? So let's actually take a look at some of the damage numbers on the side here. Let's see if I can get this. I think I hover over it over here. Get some more attacks in. And there we go. Alright, so I'm going to hover over and see if there's any Tavern Brawler effects. No, but there is a attack roll. So attack roll is great for accuracy, but unfortunately, it's not like we were hoping where you can actually get a benefit to your strength attack. So what about the Slayer form? So I'll pull up a second clip, just detailing that real quick. So we'll go ahead and go into the Slayer form. Same set. I still have the Swarmkeeper abilities. So we know it works once per turn. It works on attack rolls, so that's okay. And we'll go ahead and bop them. There we go. So we're definitely getting the Swarm abilities work just like we expect them to on the Slayer form. But do we get any Tavern Brawler benefits? And no. Again, it's really just attack rolls. Slayer form actually comes with 25 base attack, so Tavern Brawler would just absolutely be awesome on this. But yeah, it's nothing really new or different in patch 8, unfortunately. But hey, at least you could finally do something cool and special with it with the swarm damages. So yeah. So hopefully that answers all your questions. I appreciate the patience on that, Snake Man. I know we answered one of them, but I was happy to get around to the other ones. Let's move on to another little clip here answering a question about, hey, What about the Punk Drunk Bastard using the Giant's Cleaver Barbarian? Hold on, roll back. Let's take a look at this. Right, so if those who don't know, the Punch Drunk Bastard will actually do a Shockwave Explosion on hit. So does it work with the level 6 Giant feature with a Elemental Cleaver? So what I'll do is actually skip ahead. I'm going to use a mod that gives me a bunch of actions. That way I can get drunk, I can enrage, I can activate Cleaver, I can throw a bunch of times so we can actually see this in action, okay? So Mintar is going to get large rage. And now we are drunk. There we go. And now what this is going to do is give us advantage on attacks thanks to the feature of the Punch Drunk Bastard. And then also we're going to go ahead and add some Elemental Cleaver. But the real ticket is that it's going to be able to throw our weapon and maybe we'll get the Thunder Explosion, right? So we got the advantage. Boom! Oh, the Swarm attack. Boom! But even though there's a big explosion, I'm only getting thunder damage from the cleaver, not from the mace, okay? So let's just keep throwing it, see what happens. This guy's all alone, so maybe it's working. Kaboom! He's dead. Now, see, there's a bunch of targets. Like, this can hit anybody, the shockwave, I mean. So maybe these guys? No, nobody else took damage. So the Punch Drunk Bastard doesn't work like kind of expected. Most weapons, their effects don't work with Giant Cleaver. But you know what? You still get the advantage when drunk. So actually, we did find out something that was pretty nice there. So that's good to go. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that. And then lastly, for a question of today, what I'm going to do is pull up, I know a lot of people have been asking, but Aldous Huxley, you know, the guy who wrote the famous book, Brave New World, he decided to ask me. I'm honored, honestly. I'm honored to answer his question about the permanent flame blade bug or glitch, whatever you want to call it. Does it still work in patch 8? Because I have a really cool origami idea with the shadow blade and the flame blade. I may not have enough levels. Well, hopefully this will help you out. So what his method was, just to make sure I could test it, I haven't done it in a while, maybe you don't know about it. If you have flame blade and or shadow blade, now that shadow blade is just a spell in patch 8, you only need 3 levels of, say, warlock to get Shadow Blade. You only need 3 levels of Druid to get, say, the Flame Blade. And if you summon it on a hireling that can use those abilities, right? And then you send them on their merry way while they still have those weapons, and then rehire them. And for my case, it was Fuzzalump, even though he's a little customized for a different video. So we'll bring Fuzzalump back, and since he just used Shadow Blade and Flame Blade while they were still turns on Flame Blade, does he get these weapons back permanently? So this is a little trick you can do. Still seems to work in patch 8, and the big payoff here is that you can actually now throw them, drop them, hand them somebody else, and you just get rid of the hireling or leave them in camp. But doesn't matter, they're now permanent. So let's skip ahead. What if we had the same Giant Cleaver set? Can we throw them? Yes, we can throw them. They trigger the thing. They're just permanent weapons now. Okay, and of course you can add the cleaver to, say, the Shadow Blade and throw its psychic damage with Tavern Brawler. It does a lot of damage, especially because you can double up this damage with the Resonance Stone, right? So this is kind of crazy. It's not something I'm going to go out of my way to do. I like the new Shadow Blade, I like Flame Blade, I like their conditions, but it is fun. Like, think of it like another way to activate without mods or something. If you're just ready to play the game in a new, different way, it's pretty cool to know this stuff. So I appreciate the question. Hopefully that helped out and gave you more than you needed. So thank you, Huxley. But for today, let's get into it, some dirty tricks. And how do we get the new dirty tricks? We use the new Rogue Subclass, the Swashbuckler. So it's very front-loaded, and I'm not complaining at that. Basically, at level 3, you get 2 initiative. So it's something to keep in mind while we're leveling this up to level 4. We get all these rogue bonus actions. That's cool. We get expertise. That's also really cool. And we get some initiative. So we get initiative. That's awesome. We'll get sneak attack, and it's a lot easier to use now because of the rakish audacity. So instead of just advantage, you have a different condition. If you just have no disadvantage and no advantage, no problem, as long as your enemy is within 7 feet, or no other enemies are within 7 feet of your target enemy, right? So that's even easier. We get a 2d6 dice damage since we go into level 4. We get dirty tricks. This is all 3 new moves right here that we're going to talk about in detail. And there's 3 new, well, those are the 3 new bonus moves. Okay, and at this level, you're also going to get a feat. So honestly, consider what you're getting 4 levels And I hate to say it, but Swashbuckler kind of ends here. But we did a breakdown video on it. Go check it out. Or go check out the stream. Swashbuckler is honestly awesome, even as just a pure rogue. I think a lot of people are going to finally realize why I like rogues, and this is an amazing subclass for it. But let's dive into why I think these dirty tricks are so much fun, especially for ideas for multi-classing, right? So what's so crazy about them, Garson? Well, the point is, there's no resource and no limit on these, which is kind of funny because, you know, you can't get another bonus action with Thief. You're already in this subclass. But if you could, right, there's no limit, and there's no, say, superiority dice or spell slots. They don't use an action. So all that considered, these are 3 powerful abilities, right? And they're all on your bonus action, which means you still get to attack with your main hand or cast as magic. So bonus actions, 2 of 3 of these can actually trigger a sneak attack, and they all give the dirty advantage. Ooh, dirty advantage. No matter what, when you go and attack with these, you'll actually get advantage on your next attack. This doesn't work with magic, cantrips, or anything like that from what I'm seeing, but it's still really great, especially for, you know, your follow-up swing with maybe Great Weapon Master. So that's what I tried to incorporate here. So they all give advantage no matter which one you use, so it's already worth using it as a bonus action. There's no resources, and if you had another bonus action, there's no limits, and they can trigger sneak attack. And for the lowest dip, even though it doesn't work with magic, it's still really freaking powerful, right? So I love it because you still have, if you go 4 levels into this, get the dirty tricks and a feat, you still have 8 levels to play with, right? And their effects are really strong. We're going to break it down for you, right? But they all operate off of a spell save DC. I wish they were all the same spell save DC, but I'll give you the cheat sheet for this, all right? So their ease of use is super powerful, super good for the game, super good for you trying to play this and having fun with it, right? And there's already stuff in the game that synergizes really well with it. I mean, the stuff that raises your chance of getting the effects, like acuity. If you attack, you get more spell save or just flat spell save bonuses. You can stack effects like Baneful Striking, maybe Stormy Clamor and get some reverb, and then you kind of just cycle through the effects. Not to mention for what they're doing, and it's all on bonus action, and there's no resource management. It's just my favorite kind of stuff. So, flick of the wrist. Let's talk about this one first. You need a finesse weapon in your hand. If I say switch over to a Drake Throat, which is a strength 2-hander weapon, this turns off. Okay, so we know the first condition, and you need a finesse weapon for sneak attacks anyway. But if we go ahead, take my sword back. There it is. All right, there's a few 2-handers that actually are able to be finesse weapons, including, you know, Lorethians and Falars and whatnot. So it's melee only. It needs to be a finesse weapon, and it only works on targets that have a weapon themselves. Okay, so we'll show this in a moment, but basically, as you can see here, I can go ahead and attack him. And the best part about this is a full weapon attack. So if I incorporate Great Weapon Master, you can see now that it just bumped it up from 6 to 16. This is my literal normal attack with the chance to disarm them. And why is that so important, right? So we're getting full damage against a target that we could possibly disarm, and if we do possibly disarm them, this wastes their turn. If you've ever been disarmed, you know the feeling. It really sucks. You have to waste a whole action to pick this thing up and then re-equip your weapon so you can attack again. It really sucks, right? Well, the enemy also hates this, so if you possibly disarm them, you're getting a full regular damage attack on bonus action and wasting their turn. And even worse, if they drop the weapon, you can actually look on the ground and find it, put it in your inventory, and it doesn't cost an action or a bonus action to do that. I've been playing around a lot with that in the current run, and it's hilarious. Okay, we even got rid of Merkel's weapon, so that's kind of crazy. Now, sand toss is also really good. Basically, you're gonna always do 1d6 bludgeoning. I don't see many ways to increase this, right? And it's not an unarmed attack, so don't go thinking like I did that you can stick monk onto a swashbuckler and get this, although that would be a fun combo regardless. It's just not going to enhance the damage because you might think, oh, it's an unarmed attack. What it is just a fixed 1d6, and basically it possibly blinds them, but it can trigger your sneak attack. So both flick of the wrist being a full damage attack and this being a 1d6, these actually can trigger your rakish audacity sneak attack, especially on reaction, since if they're alone or you had advantage, you can get your sneak attack off, right? So that's pretty powerful in and of itself. Now, the next thing is it could blind them, right? So if they get blinded, again, no concentration, no spell slots or anything, 2 turns of blind is pretty crazy because basically they would have to run up to you in order to attack you, and they're blind, so they have disadvantage, right? So they can't cast or use range attacks until they get right up close to you, right where you want them, right? And then you actually have advantage on them, so you would actually be able to turn on something like Great Weapon Master and do a lot of damage. So this blind is really powerful. I love the blind effect. I'm kind of obsessed with it, but yeah, if you can pop it off, it's really going to help you and the team land some powerful blows, okay? And it's all on a bonus action. Now, Vicious Mockery is literally a cantrip. So this is really interesting because it does level up the same way as, say, the actual normal action Vicious Mockery. Use your charisma to cast this. It's a wisdom saving throw cantrip spell. Okay, it's literally the same thing, as you can see here, but is it better, right? Because it's going to scale the same from 1d4 all the way up to 3d4 psychic. It can honestly hit hard if you know what you're doing, because there's a lot of equipment that can benefit from it, like the Resonant Stone and Rhapsody, and it can trigger a powerful debuff called Mental Fatigue, which can make other spells land a lot easier, but also trigger more psychic damage, okay? So this is honestly amazing as a bonus action, because it can trigger Arcane Synergy. So if you use this and attack with it using your bonus action, you'll get Arcane Synergy, right? And you'll add your charisma modifier or your spell modifier if you're using it correctly, right? It can activate your more damage for your main weapon using Arcane Synergy. That's just tip of the iceberg stuff, though. It can be a powerhouse all its own, and we'll get into it, but it's all on a bonus action, and so it's arguably even better than Vicious Mockery because of that. So spell save DC, this determines if the effect happens. Let's keep in mind all these have some kind of spell save and saving throw. So you're gonna have to match up the saving throw. This case it's wisdom, right? Over here it would be a dex save, and over here it would be a constitution save. You're gonna have to also know what spell save DC these all go off of. No matter what you multi-class, Flick of the Wrist is a charisma. So if you want to disarm them, it's actually based on charisma. Okay, if you want to blind them, it's based on dexterity, your dexterity up against their constitution saving throw. And then mockery is based on your, well, it's just Vicious Mockery, so it's a charisma against a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so this all determines if the effects happen, and trust me, after playing it, you really do want these effects to happen. The nice thing is, if you were just to play a pure Swashbuckler, you would probably be going after, even though your spell modifier isn't normally charisma, it would be intelligence, you'd probably be going after dexterity and charisma, since all three of these play into those two stats some way, somehow, whether it's landing a hit or, you know, getting the effect to pop off. But there's other ways to raise your spell save DC. Don't forget, there's flat bonuses like I talked about. Something like this, 2 bonus. There's also acuity for attacking with a weapon. You can get 2 turns of spell save DC and it can stack. Okay, and then let's not forget the debuffs. So don't forget Bane and Baneful can stack. They're 2 separate entities, but Baneful Striking can stack with Bane the condition. You can also get Reverb, and you can get Mental Fatigue. All of these could help you land those effects as long as you knew what you were doing. So let's say we did, and we had some build ideas. Let's get into it, Tim. So it's build time. Each build was inspired by one of the 3, and I love what this can actually do for casters. That's why 2 of the examples are a bit of a half caster, so to speak. And we're going to shout out Nadir Furry. He's the one who came up with the Yappomancer, so without further ado, I'm going to get into some trouble with Yappomancer. The idea here is, since we have this on bonus action, Nadir's like, why not have it on a regular action? And you could even haste yourself and have 3 Vicious Mockeries in 1 turn, which is a lot of damage, because if you know how to build it, check this out. In Vicious Mockery, boop, that's a lot of damage for Vicious Mockery, okay? Gets even sillier, because if you have all the right gear, what can happen now is if we use another Vicious Mockery while he has a lot of Mental Fatigue, he will pop for even more psychic damage, okay? So we almost one-rounded him with Vicious Mockery of all things. Talk to him to death, right? Alright, so that's not all, though. This is a Swashbuckler mixed with a Lore Bard. We have Vicious Mockery on action and bonus action. We have 21 Charisma. If you get the Hag Hair, you'll go to 22. That's why I did it that way. So Infernal Rapier, we can actually use a Finesse weapon that goes off of our Charisma spell modifier, our stat, right? So the more we invest in Charisma, that's all we got to care about. Think of Pact of the Blade, sort of. And this actually gives spell save DC while being a Charisma weapon, sort of like packed weapon, you know? Okay, and the best thing about that is Lore Bard's Cutting Words could, you know, help you land spells like Tasha's or Hold spells. So let's try that out. Let's see if we even need that. Alright, so if we go to level 3, we can grab both of these guys. Oh, and they're holding weapons, and they're hold person and rakish conditions. Oh my goodness. Boop. Oh, look at that. Powerful, powerful. A lot of people have to use the Mystic Scoundrel to pull something like that off. It's a ring where you can get this effect where you can attack them and then you use a hold spell. So in this way, we could actually hold spell with the action and now critically kill them with a bonus action, flick of the wrist. And we can also pick up their weapon, even if he does somehow get out of there. So yeah, it may seem like a jokey build and super thematic, but it's actually stupidly strong thanks to the potent rebs, thanks to having 2 weapon attacks effectively, even though we're not like a fighter or a paladin. We have arcane synergy, we have hold person, mental fatigue, making it easy to land those, sneak attack, and just at the end of the day, it's really funny that we could just kind of yap at them. You're dead. Boop. Broke his brains. What about you, buddy? Oh, please. No, 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 no. So, the Yappomancer, very interesting. So, Half-Caster, this could actually blend pretty well with Glamour Bard, if I'm correct about this. So don't go thinking it just has to be Lore Bard. Obviously, there was going to be some synergy between the charisma abilities of the Swashbuckler and, of course, this the Bards, right? So let's talk about something I wouldn't shut up about lately, especially on the runs, the Dirty Fighter. So I had already imagined, wow, this would be so much fun with the Battlemaster maneuvers, tripping and disarming and all that, mixed with the bonus action, flourishes, or whatever you want to call them, the dirty tricks, right? So we can definitely focus this build on the idea of disarming and playing dirty as a fighter, a Battlemaster, okay? So mostly dex, but a little bit of charisma, just in case we want to use Flick of the Wrist is based on charisma, right? But it's basically dex finesse two-hander. Like I said, there are some finesse two-handers, which means you can use Flick of the Wrist with Great Weapon Master if you have it all set up, have good accuracy. But otherwise, you're going to trigger your accuracy with Great Weapon Master using Dirty Advantage, right? And just keep in mind, you can trip them, disarm them, blind them, distract them, shoot them, bite them. You can bite them if you're Asterian, so it'd be probably fitting that he's going to play a little dirty out in the open with his fancy swordsmanship. So without further ado, see if we can disarm him. Whoopsies. And I do have Baneful Striking. We got the right conditions for Rakish. Oh yeah. So even though we didn't disarm him, we now have advantage at least on the next attack. Let's see if we can trip him. Nope. Guess I don't have advantage. What happened there? Alright, riposte. Let's go. Boom! Right back at you. Alright, we'll turn this off for now. Once again, try and trip him, or, well, probably just dead. And then we have some Bloodlust, so let's bring Aronson over here. See if we can get this bonus action off. Oh no, cutting wood. She just won't stop yapping. Wow. Alright, check it out. So now we will go ahead and trip him, or no, disarm his weapon. We get a Rakish off of this. So this was a full attack, and now we have advantage, or wow, we're not getting our advantage. This is kind of crazy. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I'll have to report bug, but I did disarm him. So like I said, I can now make him drop his weapon. I can take that from him. And then if I had advantage, it'd be even easier to land some great heavy weapon master abilities. And you have bonus actions, maybe fancy footwork, but that never really works. But yeah, we can trip him, cause him to go prone. He can attack us. If he misses us on retaliation, we can riposte. I mean, this is my kind of style. I love it. You're a dirty fighter. A dirty fighter. But before the cops come and arrest us, let's move on. Okay, so like I said, you could use battle acuity while you're swinging. Maybe you're not getting your effects off, but in time you will, right? But you have the spell save DC gear if you want an immediate like punch to those abilities. The Starian's Bite actually gives you a +1 of those effects too. And you do have sneak attack damage, right? Thanks to the Rakish. So finally, I'll leave you with the Pyro Trickster. This is a Swashbuckler 5 with a Fire Sorcerer, Draconic Sorcerer 7. But this is like a Spellblade, like flat out, or Gish, whatever you call it, just like the first build. But it's a sneak attack. It's going to be decently strong, 3d6, but you have a really strong Firebolt between Rhapsody, Potent Robes, Elemental Augmentation. So we have a Starian, or Gale over here. So this is really cool. This is up my alley too. So this is a bit like maybe a different Arcane Trickster kind of style. We have Arcane Synergy, Sneak Attack, Elemental Infusion. So that can really add up, especially since our Firebolt is already immediately pretty strong on this. Look at that. Okay, now we get Elemental Infusion on our next weapon attack. And thanks to Flick of the Wrist, we actually don't have to use an offhand attack. We can use the full power of our weapon attack. And it's all infused. Look at that. And he dropped his weapon. So like I said, you can see, this is how I keep using it. Now he can't do nothing. He just has to punch me with his weak fist. Oh, go ahead, hit me. Oh, shield. Oh, can't do nothing. Oh, he threw some. Wait, did I not pick up? Oh, he's got javelins. We're all fighting dirty today. Oh, look at this guy. All right. But I did say this one was maybe inspired by the other move, right? So let's try and blind him. Because what we could do is blind him and then scorch him, right? Boom. There we go. Now he's blinded. And the powerful effect here is even though I have dirty advantage, not everybody else does, right? So now I have advantage against this target. This is what makes blind so powerful. Okay, but also I can get away from the reaction attacks. Now, okay, he hit me, but he can't do a reaction attack. He's blinded. So once he's blinded, I can go ahead and scorch him with my advantage on Scorching Ray. All right. And then if I want to, I can really change up how I use my actions and bonus actions thanks to meta magic and these new abilities right here. I could cast spells. You know, you have the extra damage from elemental or draconic and just does stupid damage with say Scorching Ray. So you can really change up how you want to use weapon attacks, magic attacks. You are a halfish caster, I'm obsessed with that, but I was trying to use, it's not always the best choice here because it's a little glitchy, but if you use your action first in order to cause like a leveled spell, you can actually get 2 bonus actions. Let me try and, no, they're probably gonna die. I hate to say it, but they're probably gonna die. Let me just kill maybe the one guy. Oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, so what I was saying is we only have 1 action. The way this hat works is you'll have to spend a spell initially. Let's go ahead. Like I said, he's already blind, so we'll guarantee to hit him. But now I have 2 bonus actions, so if I want to, I can viciously mock him, and I can viciously mock him, or blind him, or flick him again. You know, you can get 2 weapon attacks right there alone. Yeah, sure did, and I'm not even mad about it, so. Alright. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? What, a bunch of dirty fighters? You're gonna arrest us? But yeah, there's some other hat choices. I just tried to show off, hey, maybe like a thief. Since you can't get that subclass, you could use this to get another, you know, offhand attack, or, you know, another bonus action. So, you can blind them, you can scorch them. So hopefully these ideas inspired you and you can see what I'm probably going to rate the subclass really high because of just the potentiality of these dirty tricks. So how do you level up and play these? Well, in the current playlist, the new subclass only run, we're not done with it yet, but in the current live stream, come watch, I'm playing a Swashbuckler. I freaking love it. The clip from earlier was from the run, so maybe if you want to catch up with the actual run, it's number 3 with the new subclasses only. And I play on honor mode because I want to inspire you to play it. I think it's the best mode. So if you want to get your golden dice with the characters you want to play, or you want to replay the game with funny, crazy ideas, I try to give you the mechanics that work in honor mode, and then you can go and do whatever you want, whether it's OP or just some, you know, fun, cool characters, right? So I like answering questions. Like I said, patch 8 questions. Let me have it. I'm trying to compile them, trying to do my research for you, so that way when you get the patch, it'll probably mostly likely be still true or working, and then you can have some fun right out the gate, all right? So you're my sponsor. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously, if you watched the whole video, I love you. You're amazing. But I love you anyway if you watched. If you skipped around and whatnot, hopefully I made it easy for you. And if you want to keep supporting the channel, there's even the memberships. There's lows that can be here on YouTube. But just come join us on the live stream. I hope to see you there. Until then, you have a blessed day.